Hello, let's see. We're doing the little pre-show testing here. Um, I'm on a lavalier or pin mic today because I need to walk over to the book, and I'm probably looking up a lot because I have my monitor so I can check the comments while I'm doing the unboxing thing. So if anybody's showing up, um, let me know if the sound's going okay because I kind of had to jury rig some stuff here. So we'll see how OBS is working with sound. Um, and otherwise, it's been quite a week. Like I tried, this is a little pre-show stuff. I have a remote lavalier, um, which like I have all the specialty batteries for, but the one thing I don't have is an 8 volt. Oh, I mean a 9 volt battery. Uh, but it was working sort of. It just had a lot of static, so I needed to mess with that. So we're plugged in. I have a wire up my ass, just like on the TV. Um, Also, somebody did a meme about like musicians and audio techs and how everybody has like 5 to 10 of these and they can never find them when they need them. That was me about an hour ago. But I found enough, and we should be good to go here. Um, Also, doing good. I did a full Ricky this time, so it's a little cloudy. Basically, a gin Ricky's like a tonic, but with club soda instead of tonic water. And you use a little of that simple sugar mix, the 2-to-1 sugar. So you do about a tablespoon of 2-to-1 sugar, 2 to 3 jiggers of gin. I like Bombay just because it's filtered. And then half a lime, mint if you like it, and club soda, and just stir. Also, no more than 2 or 3 ice cubes. If you're doing 3, you're pushing it for your monster. But happy Saturday. Like as far as news goes, like I think the community's had some ups and downs this week. Um, my monitoring of stuff has been off the wall. Like I monitor my own channels, and then I have to monitor a couple other channels, and oh my gosh, people have gone insane this week. They really have. That's pretty much par for the course, isn't it? I apologize for the quick lighting, so there's going to be a lot of glare everywhere. Otherwise, think I think I have good audio. Once again, if anybody's on there, you can let me know. Otherwise, I think we may be ready to start the old showzer here. So, 1, 2, 3, let's go. So welcome to Courtcast Live. We are doing an unboxing today. We are doing, it's not so much a mystery unboxing. I know that this is going to be the new Sleeping Gods board game from Red Raven Games. I can't speak today. I really can't speak today. Red Raven Games. Ryan Lockett, who is the designer, publisher, illustrator, everyman of this company. This was a Kickstarter I pledged for, I want to say like 9-10 months ago, and it literally just came in today. So I'm super excited. it's not so much a sequel as kind of a spiritual building off of his Above and Below and Near and Far games, in that they're book style games. But this is more supposed to be more open world exploration. So I'm kind of super excited to see what we have. I literally have not done anything to the box, so we are going to discover what we are seeing on our own, and then I'll come back to the table and we'll do some kind of Q&A if people are up for it. And I'm going to a lot because it's 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday, and that's what I'm doing. And one thing we did get here is our box of Terminal Directive, which is the Android Netrunner Legacy campaign. It's actually pretty interesting. We'll show it off at the table as well. Looking for somebody that wants to be either the Corp or the Runner. They have to have the core set to build one of the 4 pre-built decks with the cards. But with that, I will send them their card decks and all their legacy materials if they want to participate. And we can do that here with Skype connection or however we want to do that. But if they want to, they can contact me in the direct messages on QUERD4 on Twitter, so Cord4 on Twitter, or if you just want to email me at info@cordcast.com. I should be getting those as well. So that would be exciting. And we'll take a sneak peek at the box in a little second. I am going to be off the headphones when I'm over there. So if there are any glitches, I hope people will let me know. And without further ado, I think we are going to go over to the other side. I have been working on another video. It's kind of more of news philosophy to be thing, but like I get such stage fright and it's annoying. Also, you might hear insane whistling grinding sounds. That is because we live in a nightmare. It's February, so it's finally hit winter in Chicago, and I live in a garden apartment. So if I can show you quickly, this is what is banging and whistling and dripping all over here. So that might be going off quite a bit, and I really have not a lot of way to manage that. So if you can bear with me on that, we will have some fun and take some questions in a second. But like I am working on video and making some little elements. So there's a hint on what that video is going to be about. I just like the stupid. I love how stupid that is. I find great enjoyment out of that. So I think I'm just going to pre-program a bunch of really dumb audio stings in this thing and just turn this into a morning show, because quite frankly, that amuses me. Also, I still have the GoFundMe for SRS. We are going to make it this year. I swear to God, we're going to make it this year. I did find out I am technically rated a 1C worker. So as soon as Chicago, who is far behind the rest of the country on rollout, because kind of it was a target city of the previous He Who Shall Not Be Named. Hopefully I will be getting a vaccine soon and I can meet my friends again, which would be nice. Nice robot, Kelson. That's cute. So without further ado, I think we're going to hit the table and check out what we got here. And once again, let me know if anything audio happens, because goodness knows this is as much a testing video as anything else. Cool. So we are moving on over to the table as I step over myself. So as you see, it's actually a pretty big box that we got here. And we're going to just take a dive in with my trusty old X-Acto. Always cut away from yourself. Always follow instructions, because goodness knows, like, this is fun. I remember in architecture class, I think we were on day 10 without sleep, and I ended up groggy and stabbing myself in the leg with this. So this is fun. Don't do architectural modeling while you're delirious or high. That is my advice to you kids. Okay, so we got that. The old, I do miss the popping stuff, but this is definitely much more efficient. So, full package. Quartermaster seems to be the shipping company of note. Ooh. Okay, so we have the Tides of Ruin, which I think this is kind of an expansion stuff campaign. So this is kind of cool, so we'll check that out in a bit. And I know I'm getting a lot of reflection, so I'm gonna show it off again once I fill out the stuff. So we got a Tides of Ruin thing here. I don't even know what this flex level is. Ooh, got kind of a double-sided playing map thing. That's kind of cool. I did not know that was happening. They call it the battle map. That would be fun. What else is going on? Oh god, this is a big box. This is bigger than their reboot of Empires of the Void. Ooh, look at that. That's shiny. Oh, trying to get it. But it's got some really good gold lettering stuff, and it's raised even. So yeah, this is the shiniest box they've done too. So let's check out that and take a look-see. We'll hold the battle mat. So, like, shrink wrap is good, but sometimes you want it to be kind a little loose so you don't have to cut materials. Because sometimes they shrink wrap it too tight and you end up like cutting the box. And that's not fun. But yeah, this is definitely on the heavier side. I'm gonna actually try to donk a light here to help out a little bit. That is not helping out at all, is it? I don't know. Hold on a second while I fudge with the brick. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Let's see how we're doing. Oh. Like I said, definitely very shiny. Ooh, it's even raised on, they did a full emboss on the paper, so it's even embossed on the sides. That is very nice. So it's even embossed and gold leafed on the sides here. It's got some nice inner art. So definitely went out of the way on the box legs. And it's the super thick cardboard too. So that's nice. Okay, what do we got? We have, and I'm not gonna go too far in because I know there's spoilers. This is a little hard to figure out what's the front and the back here, so hopefully I picked the front here. So this looks like the map book that you'll be motoring around on. So some maps. So that'll be cool. Okay, we have a... I'll pull this up here. There's a logbook sheet, which I'd say there's about 50, 60 sheets there. And on the back, it has kind of a layout of the area that you'll be charting on. Looks like it has some numbers that probably correspond to like book entries. That'll be cool. Oh, yep, upside down. Okay, so this one I definitely don't want to do too much. This looks like it is your storybook. So this is where you're going to do your kind of, everything is super shiny. Your basic story input stuff. So I don't even want to go beyond this page because it'll spoil it for both of us. So this is probably going to have the same kind of like story prompts and things that you would have found in Above and Below or in Arabian Nights or Near and Far type of thing. So that's pretty cool. Nice paper. This one's super thick. Like I don't even think that the Near and Far one was this thick. So that's pretty good. Okay, we got rule book. So interesting. It actually tells us how to put things in store components during the campaign, which thank God more people need to do this, especially with these Kickstarter boxes full of things, because you cannot tell how to get all the nonsense into the box again. Like it takes forever. So nice breakdowns with sidebars and things here. So that's looking pretty cool. Super excited. I'm really excited about this combat system. He did have one called Rome, which I know I have it up here somewhere, but I can't find it right now. That uses this kind of combat system as a two-player game. And I really want to see what this fleshed out system turns into. Pretty sweet. Okay. Ooh, looks like we have our kind of open world achievements index. Like if you've ever played really any sort of open world game, you know that you have side missions and achievements and collect all the things along with just your basic story quest. So it looks like they've kind of ported that over here with this unlock sheet. Oh, and look, has 12 different endings, apparent 13 different endings that you can get with the base game here. That seems pretty cool. Okay, now this is a little disconcerting. This is your cheat sheet. That is a really tiny type. That's got to be like a 5.5 at best. That's like a 4-point type. That's cramming stuff in. The only thing that I've seen this small before is the original Pret-a-Porter cheat sheets, which were incredibly small. Like graphic design word of advice, it does, your height of your characters does depend on the character themselves usually, but good rule of thumb, never go below 7 point. Like you might be able to squeeze it for like copy notes or something a little bit, but never go below 7 point, else you're going to hurt people's eyes. And this is cool. I think this is one of those things that they picked up from Fantasy Flight is the Quick Start Guide. So you can jump straight in and grab your intro story. Like, once again, well laid out with side columns and really graphic descriptions. So I like this a lot. This is a good idea, especially if you have like a really in-depth rule set and a lot of exceptions. Ease me in. This is good. This is good. Okay. Baggies. This is also good. They know that I have a box of baggies underneath, but it's never enough. So, baggies. Looks like we got some tiles. I'm not going to punch anything yet. But looks like we have some items, a first player marker, some unlock thingies. A Dungeon Delve storybook associated with this. So apparently you can get off the ship and do some dungeon diving within the same system. So this is going to be interesting. I want to see how that goes, because we have some dungeoning maps here. These are on cardstock. They're not on cardboard. This is just really thick paper, which is fine. That's fine and good, especially for something like this where you're going to print out a lot of things and try to do it less expensively because of all the content you have to create. So that's pretty cool. And then there's a deck associated with that stuff there. So it looks like there's some text on here. I'm gonna not show a lot of it, because we all want to keep it surprised. There's some adventure cards, some dungeon delving cards, it looks like. So this is a nice medium heavy finish. Like, these cards are sturdy. I'm flexing it pretty hard. They're not too sturdy like the Euphoria cards from Stonemaier, which I think those were too thick, because they actually cracked if you tried to do anything. These are nice linen finish stuff, so these are nice. We'll put these back in the bag with the dungeon stuff, so I can keep that separate just in case. How are we doing here as far as sound and stuff goes? Going to have a time. Now, there's a little standee. I'm going to try to be really delicate here with what's in the boxes. So this is for, really need to get rid of that one. For used quests. So apparently this is kind of like your discard box. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kelson. Glad to see it's working for once. I have so much problems with the OBS and how to use sound. It's ridiculous. Okay, so we kind of have this heavy box. There is something in it. I'm going to look off camera here. Okay. I'm going to show you the one side. I don't want to show you the other side just in case. But these are a deck of the battle cards, it looks like. So these are nice tarot-sized cards. I'm assuming linen finish. It's kind of a healthy deck, so this is pretty cool. I don't want to show the other side because the guys might be like surprises. So so you have a deck of battle cards in this box. Oh no, looks like the back's got a little damage. That's a little sad, but I'll just scotch tape it from the inside and pop it out, and it should be okay with a little nail varnish on this other side. Should be good. It's a little sad though. This one's an empty box, so this is for storing something, I guess. Probably bits and pieces. Okay, this one's heavy again, so let me check. Okay, this one's safe. This one's safe to go. This is all your Dahlbergs and stuff, so. They have monies, it looks like. So Ryan Lockett does really good just art coins, but the metal coins are great too. Like, I don't know. But this is a single stick edge. It's got a nice jingle and weight to it. And it looks like they have like runes and stuff, which is kind of cool. So it's using all that fantasy symbology that he uses. If you play other games of his that are kind of in the same universe, like City of Iron, and that they all kind of have the same symbology associated with like different clans and things. And then these are the fives, which are nice and chunky, totally different finish. You can tell that they're different from far away, so that's pretty good. Sometimes coins are too close to each other and you can't tell the difference, but these are pretty different from each other. So got that. So we got some blood tokens. So pretty standard blood tokens. I assume this is health. Silicate desiccants, just great. I keep everything fresh. I keep getting reminded of the Seinfeld episode where Elaine accidentally knocks a desiccant into water dish, food dish, or whatever. So I would stay away from board gamers because they definitely have baggies of poison on hand. So we got blue things. They could be water or some sort of other resource. I don't know yet. But these are pretty chunky. That's pretty good. Okay. We have the generic tracking cube, which is okay. These cubes are on a little bit of the smaller side as far as European style cubes, but they do what they do. They're to track stuff, which is all that we need. And apparently we have chunkier tracking cubes for super chunky information. And then looks like we have a Captain Meeple. So we will be moving them around somewhere during the game. And then we have our boat that will be moving around the board. So this is what we're going to be using most of all. This is going to move us around the board. And check this out. This is pretty good detail. I'm going to try to get really close so we can get in focus. Please focus, camera. I am working on a budget. Please focus. But anyway, like it's a pretty good 3D model. It's washed and colored. So that's a nice chunky boat. It actually looks a lot like my dad's boat. He used to work the Ogilvy Norton and the Boyer. So those kind of boating lines, and this looks a lot like the sea vessels my dad was on way back in the day. So that's pretty cool. And then we got some more cards. These look like your basic resource cards. And then looks like these will be your action cards. Let me peel apart one of the action card decks, see what they're made out of, see if they're any different. See, there's always a problem with these. You have the little band thing and it doesn't want to go half the time. Okay. So same linen finish, slightly less thick stock than the other, which is good because they're smaller, so a thicker stock would make them harder to shuffle. So cool, cool, cool. So they're really going all out for the Fantasy Flight. So they've got tarot-sized cards, they have regular-sized cards with multiple decks, and they have micro cards with what looks like multiple decks. So that's going to be interesting. So this box is all your doodads for the game. And your boat. I really like this boat. Like, my camera's kind of crap, so you can't really see the detail on it, but it's got like detailed wash in all the crevices and stuff, and you can actually see the where you would dump your cargo and stuff in. So with all the caps for the holds are washed and stuff. It's really detailed and really neat. Cool. And here we have what looks like our codex. I'm not going to do anything with these cards because these will be definitely kind of story important. But I don't know if you've ever played Charterstone or anything. They had this Snap Codex in there, and looks like they picked that up here too. Isn't that really nice? Looks like a chest. It's got the magnets. It's got a nice snap. I love that snap. So we got a codex here. We have our giant oversized action board. So it looks like we have on deck actions and then off the ship actions. Oh, it's falling out. So it's well punched. So looks like they're both handed, so it's just however you want to drop it on the board. Looks like doesn't look like there's any difference from side A or B. Resource tokens. We have character boards. So he's really gotten better on his character arcs. If you've ever played the original Empires of the Void or original version of City of Iron, like you could tell where it was going, but his character work just wasn't there yet, and it's really getting good. And I think that Red Raven Games does multiculturalism right for the most part. Or a lot of ones seem like they're forcing it, or they just don't care. Like different looking people, different skin colors, just looking and doing what they do in their own context has always been part of their art style, and I think that's just great. So we do get a little bit here. We'll have to see how the writing goes. But this is supposed to be kind of a 1920s exploration thing, so we'll see how that goes there. But glad to see, like, Sikh stuff here. Then this lady from Osaka, apparently. This guy's from Quebec, Le Point. So that'll be cool. Guy from Veracruz, that's your chef. It's looking pretty good. Oh, and he's a priest. Even better. So we got some stuff there. Looks like we have character tokens for when they're going around. Have something for a court action. And we have the punch cards for the bits that we have in wood there. As you see, like, sometimes, like, I save all the money tokens and stuff from games I like anyhow, but I use these Red Raven tokens in other games with shitty tokens, or if they're horrible enough to have Tiddlywinks, I will throw Red Raven punchboard coins into those games to brighten them up. So that's pretty cool. And then we got a nice kind of above and below the waterline thing going here in the box. So that's pretty cool. So let's see if we can reassemble this pretty quick. But this box is packed with stuff. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to unlock. Looks like you have a pretty healthy codex that'll be built up over time. Got a place to store our things later. And then plenty of baggies. We'll be needing baggies because it is a campaign game. So that is a lot to go through. Let's check out this neoprene map. Yeah. Once again, I love, because it's one thing to do raised, and then it's another thing to do foiling or a special gloss, semi-gloss coat on areas. But they've literally done all three. Like, you can run your fingers and you can feel this monster beneath there just coming up. The boat is raised. It's got a semi-gloss on the boat specifically, and then it's got the foiling above. So being from a printing background, that costs money. That's a lot of money to do that. And they did it beautifully too. Like that is solid. So let's see what we're looking at here with the mat. So it's a standard neoprene. What is that? A quarter of an inch neoprene? It's about the same as my Netrunner mat here, but it is felted on both sides. I assume it's heat applied because it stretches. So that's good. It won't fade. You may get some fraying at the edges, but that's not necessarily a big thing. But yeah, this is a nice little neoprene mat / mouse pad. I do like when mats organize things. As you see, I have my Netrunner mat down below here, which it is my favorite game mat, in that he organizes and helps you explain the game because Netrunner has so many different names for everything. All your places are marked out. They are named for you. You have your R&D, your HQ, your archives, score. Your click track is built in. So you really just need to show up with a deck and go here. And you can... This cut down explaining Netrunner to people by like 45 minutes for me. Like, that's how impressive the mat is. So I love when mats assist gameplay and make it easier. Otherwise, it's just a shiny thing to pick up cards from, which is cool too. But I like mats that help assist and mats that organize. So this looks like this organizes some sort of battle row, which is nice. Like if it, we'll see how much it assists through gameplay. Another really good mats are the Century mats, because once again they both organize and then they give an area to kind of gameplay and expand. Especially the second Century, the Spice Girls one, Spice World, I forget. But the middle one with exploration, like with that movement stuff, like that gets really hazy just kind of out there on your table. But having it on that mat organizes it and really helps you see what you're doing. So. Okay, so once again, let's appreciate some of this. This one isn't foiled, but this is gloss coated, and as you can see from the word Sleeping Gods there, like it really kind of has it's got a nice fade to the coat, so it helps with the printing there. So that's really nice. There's nothing raised on this one, so like this is definitely expansion stuff. But even here, like a nice gloss coat on the lettering and stuff. So once again, the cardboard, beautiful kind of landscape on the inside. Okay, so we have a smaller exploration book. So this has only got, what, 8 pages? 10 pages? Oh, 8 pages. It would be 8 or 12 pages, as I'm an idiot. This is kind of like an after story expansion looks like. I don't want to show too much there. It has 4 more decks, so quest cards, something called an arcade mode, which I think this is after you've done the campaign to play it as like one-offs, which I think that's interesting that you can do that as well. Play it as a one-off adventure or as this kind of open world campaign. Then these look like they're specific to that short aftermarket campaign as well. And I'm not going to open any of these for spoiler's sake, but standard. Hefty amount of standard cards. We have some more bad guys. They're in a blister pack, but they did pack baggy for it. So I could see these being like a promo on their own. It's blister pack. So these are more fight cards, looks like. And some more storybook here, which I just noticed there's actually pictures inside the storybooks now. So that's pretty cool. Not as thick as the other one, but this is about as thick as the Near and Far one for the expansion material here. So that's pretty dang exciting. So it looks like we got a cool playmat, which doesn't really fit in either box, so I don't know. It's a little small to roll up into things, so we'll see how to do that. I might just fold it over and commit a cardinal sin here. have our decks. And our book. So you just gotta slip that in. So that's what's in Sleeping Gods, which, as I throw the camera to the wind, so that's pretty exciting. That is a huge box. Once again, looking at the size. Let me pull off the last big box. Here. I'm looking at Empires of the Void here, which, just to compare by sheer scale, like that is that much more box than even the Empires of the Void, which I think is their thickest board game yet. So that is a lot of content. A lot of content. So that's definitely something to get excited about. Okay. So we'll put that aside. And we're just going to put that there. And I'm going to be spending tomorrow morning punching and organizing and reading some cool stuff. So let's actually pull up the terminal directive to see what we're dealing with here in the world of Netrunner. So it's actually a pretty oversized box. It's a little ridiculous. I think they just wanted it to look more substantial than it is. So this is, once again, their campaign. So you're going to have, between each game of Netrunner, you're going to have your faction's objective sheet. So you're going to get new objectives, and they're going to be crossed off with these stickers as you go along the way. You're also going to get like new achievements or disabilities depending on how you play each game. And you're going to get story cards that will add to your deck, subtract from your deck, and otherwise alter your gameplay and give you new story. So we have our little warning sheet. And this is going to be the background story, kind of the starter story, and how the campaign module kind of works. Like, you're going to be stickering cards and updating text. So I do suggest, if you do play, playing with sleeves, just because like you can tell otherwise through shuffling. You're going to have moral choices, whether you're going to be a predator or protector throughout the game. And then it goes through the different characters from the story arc. So there's I think the easiest way to play it is use one of these pre-built. So what you're going to have is that the runner is going to have a choice between the two campaign pre-built characters, and it has what from the deck they give you and what you need to grab from the core set. So anything that has an asterisk next to it here is something you're going to have to grab from the core set. And then it has 2 corps as well, and the same thing. So you'll be grabbing particular ice from the core set and stuff in your deck build. So you start off with these preset deck builds, and those decks will change and evolve as you go along. And you can buy extra cards and stuff as you want. So each faction, so you have your runner side and your corp side here. Each faction has some sticker stories. So all the kind of sticker elements and legacy elements are going to be in this deck. And then you're going to have your story cards, choices, sometimes cards you'll be putting in your deck, and things like that in this deck here. And then you have this deck, which is all your starter faction stuff. So this has 2 factions. They're campaign-specific cards, and you'll be blending with those with the core set cards. And it's set up like that in the box, and all the rest of this box is dead air. It's Fantasy Flight useless. So they could really put this in one of their kind of standard expansion boxes and had a fine time with it, but they wanted to present it as something more. And quite frankly, like, it's a bit of a cool ride. I don't think it's the best legacy system in the world, but it is definitely something interesting to do. I have played this as a corp about halfway through. I believe I was Seder Laboratories as a corp. So I'm very interested in playing either the other laboratory or one of the runners. But, like, once again, if you would like to join this campaign, let me know through either Twitter or info@fordcast.com. And you can get half of the box. I'll obviously just send the stuff instead of sending you the box, but it's easy to split up. Like, all I would do is cut this sheet in half, send you your sheet side, and you could play runner versus corp. So if anybody's interested, let me know, and we'll work something out. It is kind of a shame that they never got a chance to expand on any of this, because I think this was a good first step towards campaign play that they later put into stuff like Arkham and things. And I would have loved to see an Arkham-style Netrunner campaign game. I think that would be sweet. But alas. Okay, so let's head back to the table here, see how he is. Okay, so that was our unboxing. Hope everything went well. I have hair in my face now, which is always good. So I'm really excited about Sleeping Gods. I actually am one of the people that like Above and Below a lot, but I never went below. Like, that was kind of probably the biggest challenge to the game, is that the below action cards, all your story stuff, really didn't interact a lot with the gameplay itself, because you were maximizing different resources, and that was a little too random to be like effective gameplay wise. But like, it was a great kind of worker allocation game with that tacked on, and I think he's really in each iteration has kind of built on that and refined that. I'm actually really looking forward to the third one in the series. What is it called? So we had Above and Below, Near and Far, and I think it's like Now or Later, or Now and Then, or something like that. I'm really looking to see how he kind of wraps up the story elements. Because in Above and Below, even then, he did an Amber Mines expansion that really kind of streamlined the base game. And that was kind of here and gone, but it did pull the thematic elements closer into the base game, and I think integrated a lot more than the initial game had, which is a little sad that like the expansion content was separate and people had a hard time finding it and things. But it's a really good game. I still am a huge fan of City of Iron. Like that was the wonkiest deck builder ever. And I kind of actually like the first edition better. Um, like it's a little rougher around the edges, but I think what they did to streamline the second edition, which is the one I have up here, if I can point, the one I have here is the second edition. I think they polished it a little too much to where like working that line of goods and stuff is less exciting in a way. I think the rough edges of the first one made it more exciting, and that's not often a thing I see. Also, the first Emperors of the Void. Um, had a lot of rough edges too. I actually, that's one I do dislike. But Emperors of the Void 2 is not like a reworking. It is a separate, different game. Like it plays so much differently, and I think it's a space game, so light years ahead. But it is, you can see a designer that has had a lot under their belt. Like I'm not a big fan of his Eight-Man Empire or the Tiny Epic Empires, but his Eight-Man Empire is kind of what made him. But like you could tell it was an early design. One here, if I could pull it up, Artifacts Inc. Like it's a very simple dice worker placement, so it gets overlooked a lot, but it's solid. Like for a $12 game, like this is solid. This should not be overlooked. Also, it's got an Indiana Jonesy theme that I kind of like. So that's one of his few ones that are in the real world and not in separate thing. I don't have the Deep Vents game, which looked interesting. But even Klondike Rush, it's an economic game, which I think kind of missold itself because it really is a stock game that happens to have this weird thematic thing and a Yeti for no really good reason. So it's definitely like a clash of theme and style, but not to be overlooked. It kind of railroads you in the beginning, but then it opens up. It's really interesting and very unique. But that's another one of his ones that aren't in his fantasy universe. So they're doing some cool stuff that's in universe, out of universe, and kind of expanding things. So I think once again, it's pretty cool. He has some two-player games like Haven, which I think is getting a full reworking as well, which should be re-released soon. And a couple others like that. Like I said, Rome was a really good one, a two-player game. So I am super excited to see what's coming next. I want to check out the system, so I'll get back to you on that. Once again, friends that love Netrunner, you can tell I'm a cyberpunk nerd because that. So people that like Netrunner, let me know if you want to participate. And I hope everybody has a great weekend and have a good night. Cheers.